The year was 1982. Tascam introduced the Tascam 224 Portastudio, and in doing so, they managed to change the recording world forever, particularly for home musicians. This was also a game-changing moment for recording studios who from this day forward would see fewer customers walk through their doors. In 1979, Tascam released the 144 Portastudio to the world, and to say it caught on would be an understatement. Bruce Springsteen recorded his Nebraska album using the 144 and two Shure SM57 microphones. He also cut his demos for the Born in the USA album on the same machine. The Tascam 144 Portastudio meant you could carry a studio with you when on the road, or take it to a fellow musician's house to lay down a track or two, then go back home and mix it down, all on the one machine. The 144 was a revelation, but it wasn't perfect. It had limited equalization options for starters, but it succeeded. And in 1982, Tascam delivered its replacement, the 224 Portastudio. So what exactly was a Portastudio? Think of it as a 4-track tape recorder based around the cassette tape format with a built-in mixer. The cassette tape format ensured costs were low, and to improve performance, the tape required was chrome biased tape running at twice the normal speed of a consumer cassette recorder. A normal consumer cassette would have 2 tracks of stereo audio on one side, and you could flip the tape over to record another 2 tracks for 4 tracks in total. The Portastudio format, however, used all 4 tracks on a single side, so it wasn't like they were pushing the format beyond its capability. With the tape running at double the normal speed, however, it did cut down the recording time from what you could get from a consumer tape recorder. For example, a 90-minute tape, which normally has 45 minutes on each side, would provide about 22 minutes of recording time in total. This allowed for about 4 or perhaps 5 songs on a single tape, which back in the day would have cost about $5. So in comparison to the reel-to-reel tape alternatives of the time, was extremely economical. The tape of choice was usually a TDK or Maxell Chrome tape, which provided the best possible quality. The Tascam 224 was a significant upgrade from the 114, with 2-band parametric equalization replacing the rather limiting bass and treble controls of the 114, as well as dBx noise reduction replacing the less effective Dolby B noise reduction of the 114. That change alone improved the noise floor by several decibels. Another improvement on the 224 was the ability to record on all 4 tracks simultaneously, which made it possible to record a live performance, for example, across the 4 tracks for the first time. As well, this allowed you to copy from one machine to the other all 4 tracks at once. The 224 featured 4 microphone or line inputs on the back, via 1/4-inch connectors, so no phantom power was available. Each input featured a mic, line or tape selector and a trim pot with overload LED indicator. Next came the 2-band parametric EQ, followed by a stereo send with pre- or post-fader switch, level and pan controls, and then a channel pan control, and finally the level fader. It was a simple arrangement, but it worked beautifully. The send and receive connectors on the back were included to allow connection of your favorite effects processor, such as a reverb or delay, and was fed from each track via that send control on the individual mixer inputs. There are individual send and receive connectors for each track via RCA connectors. This allowed you to connect an effects device to the individual tracks, such as a more powerful EQ or chorus, for example. The only drawback, however, was those RCA connectors, as most effects processors had TRS or XLR connectors. Still, a simple converter cable solved the problem for effects units with TRS connectors. The real power of the 224 was in its ability to bounce a number of tracks down to a single track. As an example, you could record guitar on track 1, bass on track 2, and keyboards on track 3, then bounce them down to track 4. Then you could record 3 new instruments or voices on tracks 1, 2, and 3, effectively giving you 6 recorded tracks. Another example, If you had a stereo tape recorder, you could record on 3 tracks, with track 4 being a MIDI sync to drum machines and sequences, and then mix all of that to the stereo tape recorder, and then record the stereo tape recorder back onto tracks 1 and 2, leaving tracks 3 and 4 for vocals. The possibilities were endless, at least for that time. It all seems pretty simple today, but this was a revelation in 1982. Ultimately, it was the ease of use and simplicity of the 244 that cemented it in the hearts of so many musicians at the time. Yes, better sound quality could be had from a reel-to-reel setup, but try lugging that and a mixer over to your bass player's house to lay down some tracks. Many products followed from Tascam, Fostex and others, but it is the 244 Portastudio that is responsible for the home recording studio phenomena that followed. It may not have been first choice for the wealthy recording artist, but it allowed so many up-and-coming musicians the ability to turn out great quality demos from home and without the huge expense of a recording studio, and that, to the detriment of recording studios the world over, changed the world of recording forever. Why not share your experience with a Tascam 224 in the comments below? If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, please like and subscribe.